Video P8 continues looking into the basics of fraction decimal percentage conversion, the ones that you should know off by heart rather than the ones that you have to do a lot of work on calculating. So we need to be able to convert between fractions and decimals both ways, decimals to percentages both ways, and fractions to percentages both ways. This is the back of the sheet that we looked at just now in video P7. So if you look up at the top here, we're going to look at this fraction first of all. Now if I shade in one of these pieces here, that would be 1/3. To work that out, let's do percentage first of all. What I would do is say, well, the whole little chocolate bar, if we were to call it a chocolate bar, would be 100%. Let's divide it into 3. So 3 into 1 doesn't go, remainder 1. 3's into 10 goes 3, remainder 1. 3's into 10 goes 3, remainder 1. And we could continue to put our remainders next to zeros after the decimal point. So 3's into 10 goes 3, remainder 1. And as you can see, this could actually go on forever. So the way to write that down would be 33.3%, but up above the final 3 you put a recurring dot, and that means that that digit literally goes on forever. As a decimal, that would be 0.33, and we would put a recurring dot above one of those 3's. For the next one, we're going to double that. So instead of having 1/3, we're going to have 2/3. If we double the fraction, we can double the decimal and double the percentage. So we will have 0.66 recurring and 66.6 recurring percent. Let's pop that recurring dot in there. The next group of chocky bars have got 5 pieces in each. So for the first one we shade in 1, that will be 1/5. As a percentage, if you have 100% for the whole chocolate bar, if you cut it into 5 pieces, 20% will be one of those pieces, which is 0.2 as a decimal. If you want to, you can put a placeholder afterwards to make 0.20. Some people feel more comfortable with 2 decimal places. For the next one, let's colour in 2. So here we have 2/5. Double the chocolate means double the percentage, which would be 40, and double the decimal, which would be 0.4 or 0.40. For 3, we would have 3/5, 0.60, and 80%. I'm sure you can see, oh, hang on a minute, that's not right, is it? That should be 60%. Let me do that bit again. Getting ahead of myself there. I'm sure you can see the pattern is going down the page there. If we go for 4, that would be 4/5, and following that pattern again, we'd have 80% at long last, and 0.8 or 0.80. The final section on the page is where we have chocolate bars that have 10 pieces. So if I colour in the first one there, we would call that 1/10 as a fraction. If we take a whole chocolate bar and cut it into 10 pieces, we'd have 10% in one of the pieces, because 100 divided by 10 is 10%. And we'd have 0.1, and you can put that 0 on the end to give it 2 decimal places, 0.10. We could do 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, and so on, but that would take all day. So I'm just going to pick a random one just to show how the pattern develops. Let's colour in 3 to give us 3/10 altogether. That would be 3 times as big, so it's 30%, or 0.3 or 0.30. Out of all of those that we have done calculations for, I would say the important ones to remember, let's go for purple to make it stand out, I would definitely remember what 1/3 is as a decimal and a percentage. I would try and recall what 1/5 is as a decimal and a percentage, and I try and work out, or I try and remember, sorry, what 1/10 is. If you can remember 1/3, you can calculate 2/3. If you can remember 1/5, you can calculate 2 or 3 or 4/5. If you can recall what 1/10 is, you can calculate as many tenths as you like just by timesing the tenth value by the number of tenths that you've got. That will be very, very helpful for when you get conversion questions in your 11+ exam.